Once again, you see, you got to wrap the ball up when you get people around you. Defensive players, punt coverage guys, kickoff coverage guys are taught to strip the ball away. Actually, a short punt by Tommy Hutton, who has not had the last couple games exceptional punts. Well, I didn't catch a number who came through there to strip that ball away, but when you got people flying around, you got to wrap it up.
All right, the Eagles maintain possession, a new set of downs at their own 42-yard line. Derek Witherspoon, Fred McCrary. The give is to Witherspoon off the left side. Good running room, good pickup, and he is out near midfield. And Derek Witherspoon, after putting the ball on the ground, very interested in coming back with 2 nice successive plays.
And you like the play calling. That's the one thing to do, is give the guy some confidence. Give him the ball back after he made a mistake.
All right, Derek Witherspoon there as he is in the backfield trying to win a spot on this team. He's in that battle with Kevin Bowie. He's in that battle with Freddie McCrary. It's now a 2nd down and 4 for the Eagles. They'll be operating at their own 48-yard line. Ty Detmer, who has played the entire way, still at the controls. Derek Witherspoon and Fred McCrary, dual backs behind him. Detmer, play action, looking to the left side. Caught by Chris T. Jones, and it is not a completion. They rule that he was out of bounds. Let's go down to the sidelines and Carl Churkin for an update. Carl?
Well, Tally, when they first came out, Ricky Waters took his pads off, and of course the Eagles fumbled shortly thereafter, and he said, darn, are they going to put me back out there? And he started looking at his pads and walked up to the sidelines, and of course Ricky, as you can see behind me a moment ago, walking away. Ricky does not have to put his pads back on. At this point, it looks like the Eagles are driving. Back up to you.
Thanks, Carl. 3rd and 4 now, again from the Eagles' 48. Freddie Solomon, one of the wide receivers, double slot on the left side. Detmer, plenty of time, goes over the middle to Freddie Solomon. Solomon cannot hold on. And for the 2nd time in short order, the Eagles are going to have to punt. Darren Perry on the defense as we look at Freddie Solomon, who I guess, Ron, has made this team certainly as the punt returner.
Well, he's done an excellent job of catching the punts, returning the punts, and not turning the ball over. The only mistake he made was the first fumble 4 weeks ago against the Baltimore Ravens. He mishandled the first one. Other than that, he's been perfect. Almost made an outstanding catch on that high throw from Ty Detmer.
Tommy Hutton looking for some more distance than on his last punt. Jaheen Arnold, the man who just fumbled, back at his own 10. Nice booming kick, going to go into the end zone, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will take over from their own 20-yard line. 12 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter here at the Vet. The Eagles lead the Steelers by 11. Bobby Hoying warming up along the sidelines. He'll be coming in for the Philadelphia Eagles. 12:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. But you know, Ron, this is a sport with a lot of frustration.
Well, you'll see Detmer looks right, looks left, looks over the middle, makes the throw. He knows the offensive line did a good job. He had a receiver open, saying, doggone it, guys, I had him. I got to get it to him. And there you see Freddie Solomon. You got to get it to me. You got to get it to me. I was open. Just get me the ball. I'm fighting to make this team.
Spoken like a true quarterback is always throwing to a wide receiver there. All right, Cordell Stewart and the Steelers operating from their own 20, and a necktie of a tackle by William Thomas. He just necktied the ball carrier on that play, Fred McAfee. Take a look at this one more time, Jaws.
Well, Tom Myslinski, their guard, will pull because you see number 62 coming there, and William Thomas, with his quickness, just gets to the ball carrier before Myslinski can make the block. I'll tell you, that's what William Thomas brings to the table, that quickness to get up the field where the guard cannot make that kick-out block.
Of course, Willie T was the Eagles' defensive MVP last year. Loss of 3 on the play. Call it 2nd down and 13 from the Steelers' 17. Stewart, play action. Going deep up the right side. Andre Hastings had a step, but he did not hold on. The ball just beyond the fingertips. Troy Vincent on the coverage, and they're still keeping Troy Vincent in the game 2nd half, Ron.
Well, certainly Ray Rhodes felt he was a little rusty, and he probably thinks he needs the work. And there he was challenged deep by Hastings. An excellent throw by Cordell Stewart. Hastings lays out. Quite honestly, I think you've got to come up with that catch.
Of course, Troy Vincent, an interesting story. He grew up in Trenton, New Jersey, but actually went to high school in Pennsylvania, went over the bridge to Pennsbury High, and then, of course, a great professional career with the Miami Dolphins, now in the defensive backfield for the Eagles. Cordell Stewart in the shotgun, 3rd and 13. Fred McAfee, the back with him. Eagles are bringing the blitz. Here it comes. Corner blitz. Michael Zordich coming from the safety position, and he chases Cordell Stewart out of bounds. Great defensive call. Emmett Thomas bringing Zordo.
I think what we're seeing, Don, the Eagles and Emmett Thomas have used their blitz package today. They knew they were attacking young quarterbacks, Jim Miller and Cordell Stewart. You'll see Zordich come off the corner untouched. But the back in the backfield does an outstanding job of taking the most dangerous man, the inside guy. That leaves Zordich free. What happens in a situation like that with one blocker and two rushers? The quarterback and the receiver must read that and sight adjust it. They both made the mistake. They did not sight adjust.
Josh Miller standing back at his 7-yard line, gets it off from his 10. Again, Freddie Solomon, the only punt returner for the Eagles these days, fair catches it at his own 36-yard line, and that's where the Eagles are going to take over when they come back. There's 11:06 to go in the third quarter. Eagles will have the ball in the 17-6 lead when we come back.
When I make an appointment for regular service, how do I know you're going to show up on time?
This is my mobile office. This computer tells me where I have to be, when I have to be. That's how the office communicates with me. They also contact me through the radio or through the mobile phone. I use the phone to call customers ahead of time, let them know I'm coming. Customers don't have to wait. I've always liked working with people and their pets. I'm going to get there because you made an appointment and I'm going to be there.
The last time we were here was when I proposed. 10 years. It seems like only yesterday. I told you then how much I loved you, and nothing's changed.
The Diamond Anniversary Band. On your 10th, show her you'd marry her all over again.
It's taken an entire year to build. Along the way, things were changed, rules broken. Now it's finally ready. Announcing the Dodge Summer Clearance with great deals on every 96 Dodge Neon left in stock. Plus, get $1,000 cash back or low 1.9 financing. Better act now, because summer clearance means our best sales year is nearly over. And it will take another 12 months to build our next one.
We are back, and there are the numbers as Ty Detmer's evening is over. 13-20, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now Bobby Hoying will take over, Ron, as he talks to Irving Pryor on the sidelines.
Well, Ty Detmer had a very, very solid football game. I think the questions about Ty Detmer's ability were answered tonight. He had been somewhat disappointing throughout the preseason. Today he showed why the Eagles acquired him.
All right, Bobby Hoying is going to take over the controls so far in the preseason. He's gotten 23 throws off, completed 11 of them for 94 yards, no scores, 1 INT. Eagles ball, 11:06 to go, protecting an 11-point lead. Here is the Derek Witherspoon off the left side. Lots of running room. He is ripping this one off in the Steelers' territory. Melvin Johnson finally trips him up. But again, Derek Witherspoon for the 3rd consecutive carry, making up for that fumble.
Well, Derek Witherspoon looks like an old number 31. Wilbur Montgomery hitting this hole. Gets the ball deep in the backfield with great vision. It's kind of pick a hole. And you give this guy some room, he can take off. Derek Witherspoon, fighting for a roster spot on this team, is showing some great quickness. The offensive line, Barrett Brooks, 76. Joe Pano, 72. A mano on a mano. Make some room. I'll tell you, Witherspoon finds it. This guy shows it. Great acceleration.
1st and 10 from the Steelers' 45. Bobby Hoying. Give again is to Witherspoon. This time he's going to try the right side. Pickup of about 4 down to the 41. Jerry Osafsky on the stop, and I'll tell you, that offensive line is impressive tonight, Ron.
Well, you'll see Barrett Brooks right there, sticking and staying with this man. Joe Panos, number 72, sticking and staying. Do not let him come backside. Joe Panos last week against the New England Patriots was pancaked on a pull by a little defensive back. Joe Panos hit everything that moves tonight.
Eagles with a 2nd down and 6 operating from the Steelers' 41. Witherspoon is the single back behind Bobby Hoying. 2 tight ends in this formation. Witherspoon is going to be caught for a loss, bringing up a 3rd and long. What happened there, Ronnie?
Penetration. To stop the running game, you have to have penetration. The basic premise of the 3-4 defense, what the Steelers play, 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, is penetration. What they did there is shot the gaps, and when you get in the backfield, you disrupt the play and blow it up. Exactly what they did there.
Earl Holmes of the Pittsburgh Steelers with the good play there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Bobby Hoying at the controls, and Lester Holmes has a bruised shin, so he's sitting on the sidelines, not part of that current offensive line aggregation for the Eagles. Call it 3rd and 10, operating at the 46-yard line. Hoying back to pass, double wide to the left. He's looking for one of them. Underneath he has Freddie Solomon. No completion. They're going to rule it incomplete. Would have been short of the first down anyway. Dion Figures on the coverage for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's going to bring up a fourth down. And once again, Tommy Hutton and the punting unit headed out onto the vet turf. Bobby Hoyne, just a couple of plays in that offensive series. What'd you think?
Well, you know, it's hard to evaluate a guy who just dropped back one time, but I'm most impressed with the offensive line. Once again, they gave Hoyne the time to find a receiver. Although it was not a completion, the offensive line did their job. And right now, you're looking at a makeshift offensive line. Only a couple starters in there, in Barrett Brooks and Joe Panos.
Shaheen Arnold to receive the punt from Tommy Hutton. He's standing at his own 10. Good pressure, but Hutton gets it off, and it is a boomer height-wise. It's going to bounce at about the 5. Coverage is down there. Can they keep it out of the end zone? Yes, they do. The Philadelphia Eagles special teams, Brian Dawkins, number 24, the key rookie safety out of Clemson, part of that special teams upgrade, Ron.
Well, you talk about an upgrade. The happiest guy in that sideline right now is Danny Smith. You'll see Dawkins come down the field right here. Oh, look at her. They're fighting to keep this one in play.
We'll be back right after this Fox Timeout. We are back, and Ricky Waters and Charlie Garner, the only adjective, irrepressible. Great running backs, great guys, always having fun, and Carl Churkin's having fun down on the sidelines. Double C?
Golly, I can't have anywhere near as much fun as the Eagles are. Things have come together this week after that debacle up in New England. Michael Zordich just came out and kind of looked over at me and said, you know, we heard it all week long from Ray. We talked earlier about that sense of urgency. Michael said he underscored everything he said earlier this week tonight, and this team has responded. Back to you.
Just a great job down there, Carl, in explaining not only the Zordo situation, but you saw that camaraderie along the sidelines. Raleigh McKenzie, the veteran leader of the offensive line in many ways. There's Willie T, William Thomas. These guys had something to prove tonight, Ron. So far, they're proving it, and the Steelers now are going to have to start deep in their own territory, as the special teams have done very well. Cordell Stewart at the controls once more. We got 8:50 to go, 17-6 Eagles in the third quarter. Give is to McAfee out of the backfield. He's not going to get up to the 5. And again, the Eagles' rotation of defensive linemen. You see Kevin Johnson there, even Holly Thomas, who's way down on the depth chart. You got a lot of defensive line depth.
Well, absolutely critical, particularly when you're playing an undersized defensive end like Mike Mamula. And I really think a guy like Mike Mamula, who's not in there right now, should only get probably 40 to 45 snaps a game. That way he'll be fresh late in the fourth quarter. And when you have a Gunn, you have a Johnson, you have a Jefferson, it's great when you have this rotation. Mike Turkovic, the defensive line coach, knows that's critical in the NFL nowadays.
Another one of the guys in number 55, highly touted linebacker out of Duke, Ray Farmer. We're keeping our eyes on him. We're keeping our eyes on Cordell Stewart in the Steelers' end zone, and we're keeping our eyes on an incompletion that'll bring up a 3rd and long. Intended for Fred McAfee, but the Eagles are really going to like this kind of a situation. Great field position if they can stop him here. Mike Mamula, the guy you just mentioned, Ron, down there, probably had a stinger or something, I think.
I think he's just chilling out. It's a hot night.
He's going to use those for his beverages after the game.
We can use one of the nice bags up here. It's about 112 degrees here in this booth.
We are in the Fox sauna at the 50-yard line here at the vet. Okay, call it 3rd down and 9 on the 5-yard line. And Cordell Stewart is standing at his own goal line in the shotgun. Fred McAfee, the only back behind him. Now one of the wide receivers, Andre Hastings, with him as well. Stewart retreats halfway into his end zone, incomplete to the left side, so the Eagles' backup defensive players, for the most part, do the job. It'll bring up a punting situation. And Ryan, you got to be impressed. They're up 17-6. They're making some adjustments as we look at some of the younger players and veterans like Bobby Taylor and Barry Wilburn, but they're still playing like it's the regular season.
And Bobby Taylor made a very solid play there. Forced Cordell Stewart to throw the ball low into the outside for the incompletion. On the play before that, you saw a fine play by Ray Farmer covering McAfee out of the backfield. Although, hey, there's only 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. This team is playing like it's the first series of the game.
Josh Miller has put 2 of his 4 punts inside the Eagles' 20. If he does it here, he's all world, because Freddie Solomon is only going to have to go back to his own 48 to make the reception. He's got 2 guys to beat. He beat one of them. He beat 2 of them. He gets a block. He's up over the 50, and he ends up at the Steelers' 47. And it's one of those plays, Ron, where you run 30 yards to get about half a dozen, huh?
But about 30,000 people got up on their feet when he made that cutback. Freddie Solomon is the kind of a fun guy to watch.
All right, Freddie Solomon and the Birds up by 11. We'll be right back after this Fox timeout.
Welcome back to Veterans Stadium, where the Eagles lead the Pittsburgh Steelers 17-6. Ladies and gentlemen, you just saw something for the first time on that last punt. Freddie Solomon, number 17, back in single punt safety. He was the guy that Ray Rhodes designated as the guy he wanted to collect punts this year for the Eagles. They kept the wraps on him.